The Day in Tech History is sponsored by CashFly over at CACHEFLY.com, where you can host your podcast and get a 14-day free trial.
Jeffrey Powers here. I welcome you to the Day in Tech History, a full rundown of technology history 7 days a week. Subscribe to the show via iTunes, Stitcher, or download right from dayintechhistory.com. Now let's find out what happened on this day, your day in tech history. This is November 9th on the Day in Tech History. 1842 is where we're going to start today. The first U.S. design patent is issued to typefaces and borders. And George Bruce of New York City. A new form of patent was authorized by the Act of Congress in August 29th of 1842. In 1921, Albert Einstein was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in physics for his work on the photoelectric effect. In 1957, Gordon Gould records conjecture on the principles of what he calls a laser in a notebook on Sleepless Saturday Night. Following Wednesday, he would have notary witness and basically date the notebook, which described as calling for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, or laser. It would take more than 30 years of litigation before Gould ever receives recognition on that concept. In 1972, the United Nations resolves Resolution 2916, which stressed the need to reach international agreement on the use of satellites for services of international direct broadcasting by satellite. A vote called for by the United States to suppress further debate that might lead to a restrictive approach to DBS. The U.S. loses 101-1. In 1982, Mattel Electronics announces that it will offer a converter device that would allow Intellivision game console to play Atari 2600 cartridges. In 1989, it's revealed that the computer error that caused 8 precincts' votes to be counted twice, resulting in a false results in a city council race in Durham, North Carolina. Interestingly, the precinct-by-precinct breakdown given to the media was correct, even though that they did not match the totals. The mistake was discovered in a later hand check by the City Board of Elections. The unspecified glitch was never described in depth by officials, though Joe Overman, who was the chairman of the County Board of Elections, stated that the errant terminals was an extra unit put on election duty as part of last-minute efforts to process returns faster. In 1994, the first atom element 110, later named Darmstadium, is created and detected at the GSI in Darmstadt, Germany. In 1995, Netscape Communications Corporation acquires the collaborative software developer Collabra Software. In 1998, Blizzard Entertainment reveals that they have settled a pending lawsuit against Microstar Entertainment for an undisclosed sum. Microstar had developed an add-on to Blizzard's game StarCraft, which forces users to violate their end-user license agreement to install it. And version 4.08 of the Netscape Communicator is released. In 2000, Microsoft releases DirectX version 8. And a testbed allowing the registration of domain names in Chinese, Korean, and Japanese is launched. The testbed, which was created by VeriSign, allows the second-level domain to be non-English, but still requires the use of a .com, .net, .org, or other top-level domain. Chinese government moves to block international registrations, announcing that Chinese registration is its own sovereign right.
If you love the Day in Tech History, then I encourage you to join my Patreon movement over at patreon.com/geekazine. Your contribution keeps the lights on and more Day in Tech History episodes available. Pledge as little as $1 a month or $12 a year for 365 days of podcasts. Add to that all the content from geekazine.com, morninggeeks.com, and other shows that I produce. That's over at patreon.com/geekazine. Now let's get back into your day in tech history.
Back in 2000, Microsoft released DirectX 8 and a testbed allowing the registration of domain names in Chinese, Korean, and Japanese launched. The testbed, created by VeriSign, allowed the second-level domains to be non-English, but still require the use of a .com, .net, .org, or other top-level domain. 2004, Microsoft Game Studios released the first-person shooter Halo 2 for Xbox, and version 1.0 of the Firefox web browser was released. It was the browser's first public release, and the browser was created by Dave Hyatt and Blake Ross, and Ben Goodger, and it was the development leader. In 2005, the BBC reported that a 23-year-old gamer known as Deathfire purchased a virtual island for £13,700 in the massively multiplayer online game Entropia, had recouped his investment in under a year. Also in 2005, the Venus Express mission is launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan by the European Space Agency. 2006, NASA loses contact with the Mars orbiter Mars Global Surveyor shortly after the 10th anniversary of its launch. 2009, Comcast announced plans on purchasing NBC Universal. The agreement was valued at $30 million. News Corp chair Rupert Murdoch stated that he was tired of seeing Google steal his company's content. He announced plans to turn the Wall Street Journal and other sites into walled gardens. Also in 2009, Microsoft released Exchange 2010. Apple released an update to Snow Leopard, OS X 10.6.2. Google acquired AdMob for $750 million. And a judge in Georgia banned Twitter from court. States that the wrong information could be sent out via social networking and might cause an issue in a fair trial. And in 2010, after a 6-month negotiation with Google, website Groggle changes its name to Drinkle. Google felt that the name Groggle was way too close to their trademark. And speaking of Google, Eric Schmidt announced that their 25,000 employees would get a 10% raise and bonus to prevent employees from defecting to other technologies, such as Facebook. And that's your Day in Tech History for November 9th. I hope you don't defect from the Day in Tech History. We'll be back 24 hours from now with another episode just for you. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's what I do. www.dayintechhistory.com. The wiki page gives you all the show notes. And of course, if you go over to Twitter, you can follow me on Day in Tech Hist. Until tomorrow, take care. And that's your Day in Tech History. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.dayintechhistory.com. All the show notes are over at wikizine.com, Geekazine's wiki. And of course, you can like the Facebook page and follow Twitter at Day in Tech Hist. Until tomorrow, take care. Day in Tech History is copyright 2015, JMP Enterprise and Geekazine.com.